Well, Fighter from 3 is now here. Glad to be back. The big 3 is here this week. Anyways, let's get right into the playoffs and how they've progressed since last podcast. Yeah, this is not giving me anything. Oh, here it is. Right now, the 76ers lead 2-1 over the 5-seeded Atlanta and go into Game 4 tomorrow. I think that goes either way. It depends on if Philly can shut down Trey Burke. I don't think they can. They put Danny Green on him in Game 1. I don't know if they're going to shut him down. Danny Green is also going to be out. But it's all going to depend on who you put on him. And if you can limit him or limit the team around him. You do one of the two, you can win. I don't think they're going to be able to do the first one. I think the first one's easier and harder at the same time. You have to limit one man, but that one man, he can shoot very well. The Bucks and Nets are currently tied at 2 games apiece. Go into Game 5 Tuesday, which is 2 days. That's a series where I would be worried as Brooklyn Nets fans before, but I'd be worried now, too. Because now you're struggling against a Bucks team that rolls through Giannis, but does have some good role players alongside him that you've also got to stop. Now, the Nets are that 3-headed, sometimes 4-headed monster, but seeing them slow down like this against this team and with the trouble Boston gave them, I'm skeptical about how they play this game, play the series. They're starting to show some cracks in the foundation. I think if the Bucks continue to lay everything on the court, there's the potential with them to walk home with a win, and you stun Brooklyn. I would love to see that. That would be awesome. I want to see it. I hope it happens, but I don't know if that's going to. Utah is currently leading the Clippers 2-1, and they play tomorrow night. If the Clippers win another game, that's already kind of too close. If that goes to 6 games, not 6. If that goes to 7, if I were the Utah Jazz, I'd be a little bit worried about myself, depending on who I get in the next round. Well, I'd be worried no matter if Phoenix or Denver wins, and it looks like Phoenix may sweep tonight. I think Phoenix does sweep tonight. Why? It's just a feeling. If Denver hasn't been able to get a game now, I don't think they'll get a game in the future. Although I think they've been very close. I haven't been keeping the most track of that. But Brooklyn. Phoenix is a good team. Phoenix is a good team. I will admit that. Denver's also a good team, but there's a reason Phoenix is the 2 and Denver's the 3. Okay, I may have fixed it. Yeah, I fixed it. If I cut out audio for a sec, my bad. That wasn't showing anything. It wasn't showing any feedback from the mic, but altogether, Honestly, I think Atlanta Phoenix. That's the one I'd be watching. I want it as much as I want Atlanta to win that. I don't know if they can, or I don't know if they will. I know they can. I don't know if they will. I want them to. It all depends on how much Booker balls out and how much that team around him can try to just put up enough around him that Philly just can't do it. Or if Philly has slow nights, Embiid keeps being injury prone at times, and Ben Simmons continues to not hit from the free throw line. I think that'll be Atlanta's key. Can Ben Simmons get his shot from the free throw line up? Can his shot stay consistent from mid-range and deep? Will Embiid stay healthy? Will the team around them shoot well? And I don't know. It's going to come down to the role players, I think. I don't think it's going to come down to the stars. I think it'll come down to the role player. On Atlanta, it comes down to role players. On Philly, it comes down to stars. That's how it's looking to me right now. And it depends on which one of them steps up more, or who actually shows up. Milwaukee, Boston, that can go either, or Boston, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, that goes either way. That can go either way. Can the three-headed monster keep rolling and take games, or can Giannis and his squad just continue to stun Brooklyn? I want him to, but that way we're avenged the next round after. But it may not happen. I don't know. Utah, Clippers. Utah, you've got to walk with that in at most 6. If that goes to 7, and I'm not saying it will, it could. That would be kind of sad. You're a 1 seed. Got a better roster than the Clippers by a bit. Clippers are more, well, it depends on how you look at it, but honestly, I'd say Utah's the better team. I think Utah should come out of this in 5 games, but that's just me. They could come out in 6. I don't know. And then Phoenix, that's a done deal. Phoenix is winning. We know this. They're 3-0. Only one team. What? One team's come back from 3-0? And wasn't that LeBron? That says all it needs to. But anyways, let's get into some other stuff to talk about. Quotes. I think I have media quotes. Oh, fun. I think I do. No, I don't. I have nothing to talk about, really, but I kind of want to overlook the roster, expiring contracts, and everything. Expiring contracts. I'm wondering how much of a shift there'll be, potentially. I'm hearing they could move from Kemba. I don't get this continuous shift of point guards. I don't. If you're gonna get you got to get a point guard you're gonna stick with. You can't keep moving on from point guards every 2 or 3 years. You're not gonna get anything done in this league if you keep moving point guards every 2 or 3 years. They're leading your offense. Fournier is expiring this season. He was a starter. I don't know if they want to keep him, but I don't know if they want to get rid of him either because he was a starter. Or a fringe starter. Actually, yeah, he was a fringe starter. He would be in if they needed him. I call him fringe. Start him a couple games a season. Luke Cornett, Martez Wagner, they're depth centers. Honestly, do they really need them? No. Not at all. I think they can let them walk. And then just get somebody else. Semi Ojeleye, I think they just extend him for now and kind of just see what they got. I don't know how long they'll keep him, though. I don't know how longer they'll take the chance on him, depending on how far he is in his development. Tremont Waters, him, I don't know. They may just move him and get somebody else in his spot that's a decent player. It depends on what's on the market and if they want him. Taco Fall, I think they keep Taco Fall on another 2-year. I think they do. Or not a 2-year, on something. Or a 2-way. A 1-year deal. Or 1 year and then move him to a 2-way later. I don't know. I'd honestly want to keep Taco Fall and hope he can develop to a bigger role. But I'd also try to kind of reshape the offense a little bit. Because you don't have... Also, Jabari Parker's got a team option next year, so they couldn't move on from him. But you really don't have much at center. What, Jabari Parker? Yeah, not a starter. Fringe starter. Not great. Tristan Thompson. He's not what you look for in a franchise piece center. Or a centerpiece center. Not centerpiece, but you get what I'm trying to say. Grant Williams, he's got to develop. Robert Williams, he's got to develop, but I think he's closer than Grant. I think he's a couple steps ahead of Grant, but I still don't want to underestimate Grant as much as I say that. But it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting to see what happens with this team with Brad in office and who they bring in as a coach. But let me look. Do we have any news on the coaching carousel? I'm really wondering. Yeah, this kind of signifies it right here. That they could be looking to move from Kemba, but it all depends on what they'd want to do with him. Apparently, Walker's been being shopped since last year at the end of the playoffs when they got eliminated. They could. There was a potential swap talked about between the Spurs for LaMarcus Aldridge. The incentive was that Aldridge had an expiring contract, while Walker was owed close to $74 million next 2 seasons. And apparently, it's a mutual agreement to walk. Or a mutual agreement to part. So who are we hearing about trade candidates then? Watch him go to the Lakers. We did it with IT, didn't we? Watch us do that again. I would cry and laugh at the same time. As much as I hate the Lakers, that would be funny to see. But they don't have much to give us back, so. Problem is what would you move for Walker? Because I'd move him probably, a first-round player. Someone who's going to bring you production at that point guard spot or get a high lottery pick. Get one that... Well, they're going to protect the the ever living you know what out of it. But really, it depends on what you can get for protections on a pick and who you're getting the pick from. And not only that, it depends on what else you're getting. Are you getting another late first and an early second, or what are you getting? An early first and a first rounder, or not? Or early first and a first rounder, an early first and a player. But then what do you go for? What happens if your guy comes off the board in the early first? Like, there's so many questions that right now I think it's best to wait a little bit longer till you find the offer that makes the most sense. And I don't think this would necessarily really come out until they had some kind of idea in mind of what they wanted or what was going on, and they had offers on the table already. So I think this is already part of the way through. They've thought this through. They've kind of decided, well, let's do it and everything. I have a feeling they already have their price in mind somewhat, and potentially even their eye on a trade. But that's all behind closed doors, and this is all skepticism. Like, this is all just saying that's probably what's happening, because that's usually what kind of happens. But it'll be interesting. That's an interesting situation for sure. Not only that, you've got, who do we have? Do we have anybody that's within 2 years that you can say, yeah, that you can start talking to for an extension? That's not on a, well, putting aside team deals for a sec. No, not putting them aside. But looking back at the contracts, I know I'm looping around everywhere because I have really nothing to talk about. Nothing's come out. Marcus Smart, son, got 2 years. Well, is going to come up on 1 year starting next season. You're going to have to talk extension with him. You've got Brown till 23. You've got JT till 24. Tristan Thompson's on a 2 year, depending on if they want to keep him. I don't think they stick with him too long. Langford has a team deal next year and then a qualifying offer. Nesmith has a 2 year team and a qualifying offer. Grant Williams has a team and a qualifying offer. But those all are 2022-23 starts of the team deals. But I can see potential extensions with those guys too. Especially Nesmith and Langford, who have taken a step in development. Or you could want to develop more. Pritchard's got a 2 year team and a qualifying in 2023. Jabari's got the team in 2022. Carson Edwards has it in 23. Just a team. Robert Williams has a qualifying offer in 2023. 2022-23. And Yabusele expires after next season. Although, I don't know if they'd want to keep Yabusele. Just because they've had him for a while and he hasn't done very much. I don't know how far he is on the depth chart either, if he's really moved up very much. Also, let me know that Jaylen Brown has an $8 million in incentives if he wins MVP or DPOY, or makes an All-NBA team, and he pockets $4 million if he plays 65-plus games, his team wins, and his team wins 49-plus, and reaches the second round of the playoffs. That's an interesting incentive there. Marcus Smart has $500K of likely incentives per year. No money guaranteed for Jabari Parker this year. Guaranteed increases to $100K if not waived by July 31st of 2021. And increases again to 50% if not waived on or before the team's first day of the 2021-2022 season. That's interesting. I have a feeling they put that in, and they may cut him. They'll probably cut him by the beginning of the 21. What? Yeah, they may cut him by then. I don't know. I don't think he's a long term either, or even a long term of like the next couple of years. I mean, the same can be said for Martise Wagner, Luke Cornett, and Yabusele. But I'm gonna end it early. It's only been 21 minutes. Very short, but I had nothing to talk about besides the playoffs. But this has been Fighter from 3 with Fighter, and I will see with myself, and I will see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Well, I might, depending on if news breaks, but I will probably see you next week, unless news breaks.